Welcome back to Digital Illustration Lesson 3, Turn Hand Sketches into Vector Art. In this lesson, we will be going over how to change your black and white vector image in Adobe Illustrator into a colorful photograph with whatever colors you desire to fill your image with. So to begin, open up Adobe Illustrator and the last image that we saved out during Lesson 2. So here I have Skillshare, my phase 2 of black and white vector image. If I click on that, I'll have one big image full of the fill. If I go over here to my layer panel, and if that does not show, you can always go up to Window and make sure your layers are checked. You can see here I have the image on one layer, and then I brought in a color palette. Depending on what colors you want to use, you can either reference an eyedropper an image or bring in the exact colors that you want to use. So I like to set that on the side here just for a matter of workflow. Okay, so going back to the image layer, I want to start to fill in these different spots on my sketch with the color. So I'm going to select everything and go up to Object, Live Paint, Make. And this might take just a moment. Alright, so I'm going to click outside of that and go to my eyedropper tool and select this cream background color. Next, I'm going to go over here and find my paint bucket. And you can see while I'm hovering over different regions of my drawing that there's this red outline for the different zones. So I'm going to go ahead and click in that zone. Note here on your image, if there are sketches that are covering up these different zones, you're going to have to come in and click those individual areas with that beige color or whatever color you might be using. So go along the image. I'm starting to get the mountain scene. Next, I'm going to change color. So zooming out, I have my color palette over here. I'm going to select that deep teal and continue filling in areas. My particular hatch on these people, there's a lot of different openings, and this could change depending on the threshold I originally set the image trace to. But I'm going to start filling in all these different pieces, go back to the eyedropper, select the next color, and start to fill in the different zones and colors. After you do this, go ahead and do your entire image or however much you would like to. You're going to end up with an image something like this. And you can see here I actually changed that black outline to the brown. So if I go back to my phase 2 image and note here in my color palette, I have this dark chocolate brown. If I zoom in, I can actually select the hand drawing that turned into vector artwork. However, again, this can get a little bit tedious. Just note here that there are black lines in here as well. So I want to make sure I get all of those as the brown. So I'm going to go through and get all of these different sections of my drawing. And after I do all of that, you should get somewhere that looks like this. So if I were to hover right now, I can still come into those zones. However, I'm going to push undo and keep that the beige. And that concludes the end of lesson 3.